Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to today's Infopedia web conference. You've joined us for service health and service usage. We're finishing the last few minute preparations for our session. We'll be getting started in just a few minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome again to today's Infopedia web conference. You've joined us for service health and service usage. We are broadcasting this web conference via Skype meeting broadcast, and the audio can be heard through your PC speakers. Today's web conference is being recorded on behalf of the Microsoft Corporation. If you do not consent to being part of a recorded session, we ask that you please disconnect your browser at this time. Attendees may access the web conference recording via a link that will be delivered within 72 hours post-conference. You may ask a question at any time using the Q&A panel that's located either to the right of your screen or by scrolling down to just below the video pane. Our presenters are going to be responding to your questions throughout the presentation and again at the end of the presentation during a formal Q&A. Last but not least, if you experience any technical difficulties during today's web conference, first try refreshing your web browser by pressing the F5 key. If that doesn't work for you, you'll want to go ahead and click on the support link at the top right corner of your browser. And with that, we're going to go ahead and get started with today's session. Presenting for us today, we have from Microsoft, Senior Customer Engineering Architect, Martin Renas. Martin, the floor is all yours.
Thank you, Janice. Hello. Thank you for attending today's Skype Academy session on the Skype Operations Framework. Today's session will be focused on the service health and service usage. So real quick about me. My name is Martin Renas, and I'm an architect on the customer experience and deployment team. I'm of the team that develops the Skype Operations Framework, and I'm also currently applying SOF to multiple active Skype for Business deployments. Hopefully, you were able to attend Lester's excellent overview of SOF and what it is all about during the first Skype Academy session. If not, I strongly encourage you to review this recording. At the end of the day, through SOF, we are providing guidance to plan, deliver, and operate Skype for Business. To learn more, please visit skypeoperationsframework.com. Feedback is critical to the continued development and success of SOF. Please do take the time to share your feedback. As you consume SOF, let us know what is working and what needs improvement. Your feedback will help us to improve future releases of SOF. A quick disclaimer, this is the 1.0 version of this training. As we continue to iterate, some of the material referenced in this training will undoubtedly change. So for those of you that view this training as a recording in the future, you may find some details are not identical to the training recording. When we have significant updates, we will look to update the training as needed, but just keep this in mind. Now on to today's session on operations, service health and service usage, starting with service health. Please note that you can use the Q&A panel at any time to ask questions throughout today's session. We will be collecting those questions and answer them at the end. As you can see, the service health activity takes place during the report stage of SOF, which is a part of the operate phase. SOF has a concept of various activities that you perform to achieve a certain outcome. In plan and deliver, you will most likely execute each activity once, while moving through all stages and phases to enable and deliver a service to your users. You might repeat parts of this process, for example, to deploy a new workload or onboard a new part of your organization. With activities in the operate phase, this is slightly different. We follow the same concept of stages and the asset within each stage, but in most cases you will repeatedly execute these activities to ensure that the service is being delivered at the expected quality to your users. Just think of support as an example. It is unlikely that you will be able to solve all problems that your users eventually might have and will never ever receive a help desk call. This is why all stages in operate will be executed either ongoing or at least on a regular schedule. So what is service health? The purpose is to help you understand how to manage change that may happen and stay informed about the current status of Skype for Business Online services. As Skype for Business Online is evolving prominently, expect to see new features and capabilities on a frequent basis. Most of these changes won't require any interaction, but you still want to be aware of what's new and exciting. I will explain the various channels that you can leverage to keep up with the overall health of the service, as well as how to get notified of any upcoming changes. Staying informed with everything related to the service will allow you to be aware of service issues ahead of your users and to plan for any necessary proactive and end-user communication in case of upcoming changes or maintenance events. What are the prerequisites of this activity? It is expected that you've either enabled your users already or are in the process of enabling the users when starting this activity. To get access to some of the notifications, it is required that you have administrative access to the Skype for Business Admin Center in Office 365. Please make sure that you are a member of the Skype for Business Admin role or the Global Administrator role in Office 365. So let's get started. Office 365 uses different types of messages. Let me walk you through them. The first one is stay informed. This will include all messages that don't fall into any of the following types I'm going to explain to you, including our monthly update summary, subscription notifications, and more. The next message type is planned for change. This contained messages informing our customers about changes such as feature updates and new services being added to the Office 365 tenant that can affect the end-user experience. These first two elements are used to describe planned events. Stay informed events will be published at availability. Planned for change events will be published 30 days in advance if any action is required. The next element might be used to inform you about both planned and unplanned events. Prevent or fix issues. Those will contain messages that help you to identify and fix issues in the Office 365 tenant or in applications used to access the service. The last category is an entirely unplanned event. This is service incidents. We will contain status updates on any service incident that has been identified. But what is a service incident? A service incident is an event that affects the delivery of the service itself. Service incidents occur when a portion of the service infrastructure becomes unresponsive and unavailable to our customers. Service outages might be caused by hardware or software failures in the Microsoft data center, a faulty network connection between the customer and Microsoft, or major data center challenges such as fire, flood, or regional catastrophe. Most service incidents can be addressed using Microsoft technology, and process solutions are resolved within a short time. However, some service incidents are more serious and can lead to longer-term outages. Please note that service incidents are shown in the health view in the mobile app, which I'll talk about in a bit, and in the service health section of the Office 365 portal. Let's review the message center to see what's going on here. The message center can be found on the Office 365 portal. By default, it has its own tile on the Admin Center start page. It is also located in the Health menu on the navigation pane on the left side. Please note that the Live tile shows the number of unread messages so that you can easily identify what happened since you last visited the message center. Let's open the message center to see what's going on here. The Office 365 Message Center is the place where you can find all plan for change, stay informed, and prevent or fix informations. See the list of all messages. Some of them have a act by date associated with them. This helps you to understand any upcoming changes and actions that you might need to take. You can use the View drop-down on the top to filter messages. By default, all messages are shown. You can change the view to show only unread messages or to review dismissed messages. You can also apply a filter and specify only a specific category. Use the Edit Message Center on the top right corner to filter on products. This might be useful if you are not using the entire Office 365 suite today and want to hide messages for a service that is not relevant for you today. Click on a specific message to learn more about that particular item. In my example, I've opened a message on a planned feature update. Use the first section, how does this affect me, to learn more about the upcoming change and to understand the impact that this change might have on your environment. The next section, what do I need to prepare for this change, will help you to prepare for this change if required. Please review this message to understand the impact and decide on any preparation, user communication, or similar activities that are required to plan and prepare for this particular change. As highlighted earlier, the Message Center will show messages of these categories: stay informed, plan for change, prevent and fix issue. Let's see where we can find service incident notifications. Find the service health notifications in the navigation pane under Health. Similar to the Message Center, you should also see the Service Health tile on the Office 365 Admin Center. The Service Health view will help you to understand the current health status of the Office 365 services. For example, if you are seeing an increase in ticket volume on the help desk, you might want to check if there is a known issue with the service or not. The detail of each incident and status updates will be shown in the page. Important information to watch for are the incident title. This will provide you a short description of the issue that is currently impacting the service. The current status, what is happening or what has been implemented so far to resolve the issue. The user impact. This includes a description of what end-user functionality is impacted. Use this information to understand if your users are seeing the same issue or if your users are actually facing a different issue. The scope of impact. This contains information regarding the impacted tenants or services. Start time highlights when the incident was first identified. And we'll have two more, the preliminary root cause. What is the initial root cause of this issue, at least from the current time? And when should you expect the next update? Also, please note that you can expand the message center to view previous messages on the same incident, if you want to learn more about the history of that particular item. The View History link just above that drop down takes you to a historical view of the service health for each service. You can review the past 30 days and the associated messages to them. The detail shown for the historical view of each incident has a few additional fields. There's a final status, letting you know what the final status of that incident is. There's an end time. This includes the detail on when this incident was marked to be resolved, as well as next steps, which will include a brief description of any additional follow-up work that has been done related to this particular incident. In addition to the Office 365 admin portal, there are additional methods available to receive notifications and health messages. Let me walk you through both the Office 365 admin app and the System Center Operations Manager integration. The first thing I'd like to highlight here is the Office 365 admin app. I strongly recommend you to download the Office 365 admin app, which is available for Windows, phone, iOS and Android devices. The admin app allows you to stay informed for both health issues and messages, leveraging notifications for you to stay up to date. In addition to those notifications, health and messages, the app also exposes some basic administration features to you. Use the app to perform some of the following tasks. You can perform user administration, you can perform license assignment, you can block or unblock users from signing into the service. You might be able to run password resets, as well as change email settings. You can find the Office 365 admin app in your App Store. I've also included a link to the app on this deck for your reference. In environments where the System Center Operations Manager is deployed, you can also leverage the Office 365 Management Pack to integrate Office 365 Health and Message Center into the Operations Manager. This allows you to easily monitor service health and messages through your enterprise monitoring solution without the need for you to manually check the portal for updates, and also allows you to leverage the rich monitoring, alerting, and notification capabilities of System Center Operations Manager. Work with your System Center Operations Manager team to get the Management Pack downloaded and integrated into your monitoring solution. The Management Pack comes with a guide that walks you through the detailed steps to set up the integration. The Management Pack leverages Office 365 APIs that are available to third-party monitoring solutions too. Now, when it comes to service health, there is still one remaining question. What is the notification policy? When should I expect to see something in the portal? Planned maintenance will be announced not later than 5 days in advance. We typically plan maintenance when service usage is historically at its lowest, which is Friday and Saturday night based on the local time zones. When a service incident occurs, we recognize that timely, targeted, and accurate communications are critical for our customers. We notify Office 365 administrators by updating the tenant-specific service health dashboard on the Office 365 admin portal Service incident updates are provided on an hourly cadence, and if a different cadence is required, it will be stated in the Service Health Dashboard Communications posting. We've talked about the various channels that you can leverage to stay informed about health and messages, which is the Office 365 portal, the Office 365 admin app, and the System Center Operations Manager integration. And we've also talked about the notifications policy that you should receive notification at a minimum 5 days in advance if any action is required. Now that we've ensured that the service is healthy, let's switch gears and talk about the service usage. In the wheel of SOF, we've moved on to the service usage activity in the run stage in SOF, which is part of the operate phase. But what is service usage? Now that Skype for Business Online is actively used within the organization, the next step is to measure all up Skype for Business Online usage across the deployment. This is primarily done to validate that the expected usage targets, which are the key success indicators, determined in the SOF envisioning, vision and scope section, align to the actual usage. After the initial pilot begins, it is critical to measure actual Skype for Business Online usage on a regular cadence. This enables the organization to gain insights around the alignment of the defined envisioning usage during the plan phase. In a nutshell, this key activity will measure the success of the project all up. We are now measuring that we are delivering the envisioned value to our business stakeholders. What are the prerequisites of service usage? To start this activity, you should have deployed your first users onto the service already. And again, you need access to your Office 365 tenant using the same permissions we've covered earlier already. In addition, you also need to know your key success indicators that have been defined in the envision phase and are documented in the vision and scope document. Please make sure that you know those KSIs, or in best case, have a copy of that document available for you. What is the outcome of the activity? What is the outcome of service usage? As an outcome of this activity, you will know if you've met your KSIs, if you are trending towards them, or if any additional actions need to be taken to drive usage to meet those key success indicators. Starting early with this activity is really important to get early insights. This will help you address potential adoption challenges or technical challenges before they become a critical issue across the entire organization. As mentioned earlier, this is one of the processes that will be run on a regular basis to establish and provide an ongoing feedback mechanism and drive overall project success. During the pilot phase, it is strongly recommended that you execute this activity at least weekly to stay on top of the current usage scenarios. Once you've moved on into the full production rollout, you might change this into a bi-weekly cadence. The next slide will talk in detail about how to measure the KSIs. If the usage velocity matches the KSIs, you are all set for this round. If the usage is not as planned, there might be a couple of reasons behind it. Some could be due to the adoption plan is not delivering the anticipated outcome for one or the other reason, or a deployment issue itself. Depending on the actual reason behind the low usage, the service administrator will need to collaborate with the related teams to assist in removing those usage barriers. The overview pane below will help you to understand active users versus enabled users for each service. The active use count in the Skype activity section is the primary metric needed and is the primary indicator if users are consuming this service at all. by looking either at the 7 or 30-day views, it will easily indicate users day by day. This is also important to note, as there is an uptime during the initial deployment and steady decline excluding weekends. There are likely end-user challenges that need to be understood and remediated prior to continuing with the deployment. Both active user metrics and day breakdown should be collected at this point in time for use in the assessing usage to key success indicators section. Open the Skype activity report to get further insights into per modality usage if that is required. Here's an example of a key success indicator. In this example, we need to measure daily active users with a target of 80%. Find your own KSIs in the vision scope document that has been created earlier in the plan phase. Verify the KSI with the usage scenarios captured in the reports early on. Did you meet your KSIs? That's great. Don't forget to repeat this monitoring process on your weekly or bi-weekly cadence. But what would you do if the KSIs are not met? Let's see what we can do here. What can we do to pinpoint the problem? If the KSI is not met, and you need to understand the reason for this to take actions. Generally speaking, a flat or only slow declining usage will likely indicate an adoption execution problem. But what we do about it for adoption? Users may not be aware that this feature is available to them or don't know how to use it. Users might not fully understand how this feature can help them in their daily jobs. Work with the training and adoption team to check the effectiveness of your current adoption activities. If the issue persists, consider performing a survey to gain more insights why the service is not being used. This will allow you to identify the required steps to address this situation. On the other side, there might be technical problems too. Verify that users are enabled and configured correctly. Leverage the test plans created earlier to verify that the features work as expected. Verify that the users are actually enabled and provisioned in the portal to make sure that the feature is available to the users. Work with the helpdesk team to check that there are no trending technical issues preventing users from accessing or using the service. Also, validate audio and video quality by using the call quality dashboard to make sure that the service is actually delivering a high quality to the end users. Please note that there will be another session covering the call quality dashboard in detail later on. By following these steps, you will be able to identify the root cause and take actions to drive towards the key success indicators. To report against service usage, these are the steps. You need to retrieve the KSIs. You will then validate the service usage, like daily active users, and trends against these KSIs, which will allow you to identify and address technical or adoption issues to achieve these KSIs. All up, this allows you to measure and report the project success against your business units. With that, let me hand over to Janice again.
All right, thank you, Martin. All right, audience, we're going to be doing our Q&A session here in just a moment. If you'd like to ask a question, you may go ahead and do that by typing your question into the white text box located either to the right or below your video pane. Before we do that, though, I'd like to bring your attention to the link on the upper right-hand side of the viewing window that says, please take a short survey. That's a link to a short survey for this web conference, and we ask that you please take a moment before logging out to access it. We hope that you found today's information helpful, and if you enjoyed today's web conference or have feedback on how we can provide you with a better event, this is your chance to let us know. The survey scores are on a scale from 1 to 5, with 5 being the highest score possible. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and turn it back over to Martin to answer any questions. Martin, the floor is all yours.
Thank you, Janice. So couple of questions here. The first one, Do SCOM servers, System Center Operations servers, need to be installed in the client location or at the Microsoft Cloud? Well, the SCOM server is typically deployed on your premises or in your data center and will monitor both Office 365 as well as your on-premises environment. Another question, what is the best way to receive notifications from the message center? Can I receive them as email or get any other form of notification? Well, the best way here is to download the Office 365 app, as this will give you the real-time notification for any issues that might come up. We have a Premier contract and are wondering what the best way is to open a support ticket. Should we do it via the portal or via our technical account manager? Do we have to pay for the support case? Well, the answer to that is you only have to pay for a support case if the reason was in your configuration or in your environment, not if it was caused by the service itself. If you have a Premier contract, we do recommend you to open the ticket via your technical account manager, as you will directly reach a higher support tier. You can also pair your Premier contract with the portal so that all tickets opened in the portal are automatically created using your Premier contract. The benefit of opening support cases via the portal is that the ticket status is very easy for you to track via the portal. Okay, I don't think I haven't seen any further questions, so let me hand it over to Janice again.
All right, thank you, Martin. All right, audience, that's going to conclude today's web conference. Attendees may access the web conference recording via a link that will be delivered within 72 hours post-conference. I'd like to extend a big thank you to our presenter, Martin Renus, and thank you, audience, for logging in and joining us today. You may now disconnect from the broadcast.